Welcome back, folks. Well, getting our 1987 Buick Grand National ready for the 2025 AHRA No Name Nationals. So I got my detailed hyper wash out, and this stuff works fantastic. I use it on all our cars around here now. Big shout out to my good friend Austin Messick down in Texas. Anybody wants their car ceramic coated or what you call a real detail, he is the guy. He did our 69 Charger, ceramic coated it right before we moved up here, and did a fantastic job. So we're gonna get this thing dried off, and then I believe I have some Meguiar's polish. It's made for a black clear coat car. So let's get started, get this thing going, get it cleaned up, and then we'll talk about what's going on this week. So anybody that's in the 6-cylinder class, that's what class we're in. So I want to ask some of you guys some questions, but I can get this thing cleaned up first. All right, folks, now we're going to try this, I think it's by Turtle Wax, I assume, this Hybrid Solutions ceramic black polish. All-in-one formula corrects, enhances, and adds protection to black paint finishes. Now let me tell y'all, this thing is far from perfect. It's the original paint job on this car, and I have created the cardinal sin of some places when it was stored under another car that, yeah, we had some brake fluid, and it ruined this paint. Obviously, that's not coming out. But this car will get repainted one of these days, and I can tell you, in the 80s, they lacked, for better term to say, quality on these old clear coat paint jobs. I think all the manufacturers did. They were just coming out with base coat, clear coat, and yeah, they're not the best. But we're going to see how this stuff works. This old car has been polished on so many times. I'm surprised Dad didn't wear the paint off this thing, because that's what he would do when he'd come home on Friday evenings, or before he'd go out on cruise night. So obviously I haven't taken near as good care of it as he did, but I'm going to try this stuff out. Hybrid ceramic black polish wax. No, I'm not getting any sponsorships out of this. I'm just kind of sharing results. So let's see what happens. Our Buick, we just got it cleaned up, and it was, I think, maybe a half a pint low on transmission fluid. I just don't remember seeing any transmission fluid leaking on this thing, but anyway, I'm gonna check it again when we get back. I think it's at the add, which is probably perfect, but we're just doing a little semi shakedown before we head up to Sykeston, getting everything together on this thing. We got our Scan Master going. I really haven't learned how to tune with that, or even if you can tune with it. It's more of just an informational tool, but it is mounted, and believe it or not, I could not believe, as old as this car is, you can get trouble codes off this thing. This thing had 0 trouble codes. So is that because it's an old OBD1? Perhaps. They're not like anything like OBD2 or later. Pretty archaic. It's OBD1, I would assume, but anyway, she's humming right along. We're running the AC, and we're gonna see how she rolls with these new tires. Drives way better with these new tires, by the way. So just remember, if you get a car that's getting a little bit, before the steering wheel would shimmy a little bit, the tires were just old, and I think the radial, the belts had separated in them. But this thing's driving like it did when it was new. So yeah, we got to put some fuel in it, and let's see how this shakedown goes. See how these tires just kind of, I'm not even going to power brake it, I'm just going to kind of, there we go. Yep. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, there we go. These tires grab way better than those old dry rotted, hardened ones. Yeah, that was an improvement. That was an improvement. Okay, so I think no pinging, no detonating. I pulled a spark plug. It looked a little on the rich side, but as you turbo guys know, I think rich is safe. Lean is fast, but rich is probably safe. They weren't ultra rich. It's just, it probably has something to do with this chip and these bigger injectors, but man, she's running really good. So those tires were grabbing really well for a street car for what this thing is. You know, we're talking about 1987, guys. We're not talking about Hellcats and dark horses here. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. So this should be fun. Let's see how much fuel she holds, and when we get back, we're gonna check everything out. All right, well, we're back from our shakedown run, and everything seems to be pretty well. The tires we put on this car are Milestar 235 60 R15s. It's one size up from the factory size, but I gotta tell you, the car drives fantastic. I think the other tires, the belts had separated because it had a shimmy, and going down the road with the steering wheel, you could feel it, and it would just, the steering wheel would go back and forth just a little bit. Obviously, it was the tires. This thing drives as the way I remember driving back in the 80s. Drives fantastic. So we started off with the Meguiar's car wash, and then I used the Turtle Wax hybrid solutions. This stuff is really good. This car is probably not a good example because, to be honest with you, the old paint job, it's the original one. It's just seen its better days. So I topped it off with the Armor All, no, not Armor All Tire Shine, Meguiar's just a spray wax. So for a driver, it's great. I do want to say, again, Austin Messick down there in Texas, thank you very much for getting us set up on the Meguiar's wash. We go to wash these cars. So now, I guess we checked our oil, our fuel pressure's good. I did add half a quart, maybe a pint of transmission fluid. Seems to shit fine, but it was a little low. You saw how the tires pretty much grabbed for what we're doing. Again, this is not a big high-end, LS, Hemi, Coyote. It's an old Grand National. So now, my fellow AHRA participants, guys, I'm in the 6-cylinder class. So to all you guys entered 6-cylinder class, let me know. Provide in the comments. What do you guys, tell me what you're running. I'd like to know who all is running in our class. I'm assuming it's going to be a lot of slant sixes. That's pretty cool. I know that Slant 6 Daily Garage, I've met you at the track last year, I think, just briefly. I was hanging out with Mopar Joe. But he does some cool stuff on Slant 6s. I think he's going to have his V8 dart. I'm there, sure. They're pretty sure, but that's up to him. I don't know. But he does cool stuff on Slant 6s. But are you other guys? So what are you running in the 6-cylinder class? Imports, maybe? I don't know. So you guys, please comment. Love to meet you. Looking forward to meeting you down there or up there at the AHRA 25 No Name Nationals. We're looking forward to that. So I think this is going to conclude getting our Buick ready, our 87 Buick Grand National. So if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe. And you're going to see a lot of action coming later this week of being up in Sikeston. So I hope everybody has a great Sunday, and thanks for participating, everybody.